This week, Skate is getting a playtest. The UK blocks Microsoft, and Horizon 3 is confirmed. This is the Nerd Cave Newz, and I am one of your hosts, Zach Dykes, and I'm joined along with Born on Mandalore to the prestigious Sakarta clan.
Garada clan?
There we go. Known for their fierce loyalty and combat skills, trained to fight with blasters, knives, and their bare hands, comes a soldier turned leader, a man who cares for no titles but is given them anyway by others due to his feats of acts of bravery. A former captain of the Mandalore Protectors and current member of the Death Watch. We welcome Kobat, Master Vexar, Skrita.
Man, you know what? That hits really well with me. Because,
you just finished it?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it hits. I'm obviously not going to get into spoilers. But despite the ups and downs of the season, I'm beginning to come to a realization. Whereas you would be more of the Sith, the warrior tribe known as the Mandalorians speak more with me. And if I had to reincarnate into another life, I want to live on Mandalore and be a foundling because this is the way. So for that reason, and it's been a few weeks, we got to rank this name.
Where does it rank, Derek? Tell me.
As much as I like Saris Othora, the Secret Keeper, just because of Mandalorian pride, the creed declares it. It will be my new number one.
Oh wow! Let's give it
Murdoch,
a round of applause.
you outdid yourself this week, my guy.
A round of applause, everybody. Now you're gonna have a little lady mad at you.
I know, but hey, her name's been number one for how many weeks? How many months? So
I don't know, Derek. Next time you come here, you might not be welcome. Just saying.
She's like, so where am I sleeping? Outside?
You see, just walk over there. There's a pit with spikes in it, Derek. Just keep walking. Keep walking. Guys, this is the Nerd Cave Newz, and this episode is brought to you by the Epic Games Store and our wonderful patrons. But more about that later. Amy says she got to up that game.
Well, hey, Murdoch's reign can be short-lived if you just knock it out of the park in the coming weeks.
Tell my wife what to do, boy.
I'm just giving her.
Tell my wife what to do, boy. I will mute
Again,
you.
I gave her props because she's been the reigning champ for at least a couple months.
Murdoch says, I would like to add that name was entirely lore correct.
Ooh, look at you. Look at you.
Now, I will say this, Derek. You might be a Mandalorian.
Now, here he goes.
You might be a Mandalorian.
He's got to make himself feel important.
But they all die. They die so easily.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I know several that stayed alive at the end of Mandalorian season 3.
No, I'm thinking about the little weapon called the Duchess.
I don't know what that is.
Rebels?
Oh, I forget. Man, it's been a couple years since I watched Rebels, so I don't remember all of it.
Get on my level, boy.
I claim to be on your level when it comes to Star Wars.
All right. Anyway, let's get into the game discussion this week, everybody. First up, Skate is getting a console playtest as EA shares tons of new info.
So, like Randy Orton coming out of nowhere with an RKO, all of a sudden Skate that we haven't heard about in like months, other than like, hey, it's a real thing, we're working on it, just comes out with a bevy of info. So revealed in a new episode of the Boardroom video series, the team at Full Circle announced that console playtesting would eventually join those on PC, and that they'll share more information closer to the time. The developers did share some information on the progression system, though, saying it's currently in early development and making absolutely clear that Skate won't have loot boxes. Difficulty will affect rewards gained through with the hardest of the three levels, which are called Own It, Crush It, and Shut It Down, granting the most rewards. There are also modifiers to the difficulty levels to make things even more or less challenging. The basic philosophy is, quote, do cool stuff, get cool stuff. Full Circle said, so no matter what activity players are doing, they're always progressing towards new rewards. Though they didn't say much about them, rewards will seemingly be customization items, giving you more ways to show off what makes you uniquely you. As for what these activities are, Full Circle breaks them down into four main categories, though that's not to say there won't more won't be added later. Challenges are short solo experiences that rotate in and out periodically, meaning they regularly change and always offer players something new. Pop ups are dynamic events around the city. Community events are events where players must play together, and throwdowns are customizable and user initiated events that allow players to, quote, gather together, build friendships or maybe rivalries, practice, or show off.
Mm.
So I definitely, of course, what resonates with me is like, no loot boxes.
Yeah.
Maybe we're finally turning the page on that awful smudge on gaming culture.
Yeah, this feels like, especially the last part, definitely feels like NBA 2K, where you've got like the, what is that thing called these days? The my park experience and everything. So I hope that they don't do like a VC currency in this, because it could be, it's no loot boxes, but you've got to like either bust it a bunch or pay some money to get your skills up where you can actually enjoy playing the game.
Well, that, or no loot boxes, but what about a battle pass?
Yeah.
Or like a challenger pass or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Skate deck pass.
Yeah.
A
park pass.
Yeah. A truck pass.
So there's always a loophole.
Yeah, there's always a loophole. But hey, I'm interested to actually see more of this and see, where it's going to go and everything. Because Skate, I'm a Tony Hawk fan.
Yeah.
All right, I love when they brought Tony Hawk back, remastered 1 and 2. Yep. I hope they do 3 and 4. I hope they get into Thug and Underground and all of that. Like, those are really good. But hey, at least having 1 and 2, I loved it. I love playing it on stream and everything. Skate was the harder version of, I think, Tony Hawk and everything. So seeing it come back, I want to play it. I want to experience, because I never really jumped into Skate. So, hopefully we'll see, them do this right and not burn bridges like they have in the past with these kind of games.
Well, I think you're starting to see, and I'm not saying it's a slow burn, but ever since Fallen Order came out was a huge success, and like Apex Shadow Dropped was a huge success. I think you're starting to see EA turn the corner, even though Respawn has been at the helm of it.
Yeah.
You're starting to see EA make better, smarter decisions about what they want to do with their games, taking more time. You're making the games that they know will be a success, like their EA Originals program has done wonders so far as of late. So I think EA as a company is starting to get better. How will they ever be on top? Probably not, but at least they're being more fan friendly.
Yeah, definitely. And to your point, literally one of their EA Originals won Game of the Year 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, with It Takes Two. That's right. I forgot EA did that.
Yeah, so phenomenal. And I agree 100% with Nate. Tony Hawk was the better skating game.
I mean, yeah.
And I'll fight anyone that has anything to say that isn't that. When you get Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 and Darth Maul is in there, can't beat that. All the ska music, can't beat that. Just like Microsoft can't catch a break.
Nope.
UK regulators blocked Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard over cloud gaming concerns.
So this was the big news of the week. Like, now, granted, it's not the final nail in the coffin, but it is a big step towards what may come about. This news is somewhat shocking, as quite a few experts predicted the CMA would allow the deal to go through. And while this block represents a large barrier to Microsoft's progress forward toward this acquisition, it's not a be-all, end-all for the purchase. Microsoft says it remains dedicated to this acquisition and will appeal the CMA's ruling. As for why the CMA is moving to prevent the acquisition, it cites concerns, quote, the deal would alter the future of the fast-growing cloud gaming market, leading to reduced innovation and less choice for UK gamers over the years to come. The final decision to prevent the deal comes after Microsoft's proposed solution failed to effectively address the concerns in the cloud gaming sector outlined in the CMA provisional findings published in February. Microsoft has a strong position in cloud gaming services, and the evidence available to the CMA showed that Microsoft would find it commercially beneficial to make Activision's games exclusive to its own cloud gaming service. It says elsewhere in the announcement that the deal, quote, would reinforce Microsoft's advantage in the market by giving it control over important gaming content such as Call of Duty, Overwatch, and World of Warcraft. And that evidence available to the CMA indicates that absent the merger, Activision would start providing games via cloud platforms in the foreseeable future. Prior to this block, Microsoft did submit a proposal to address some of the CMA's concerns, but ultimately it failed to sway the agency. The CMA laid out a number of significant shortcomings connected with the growing and fast-moving nature of cloud gaming services from Microsoft's proposal. Quote, it did not sufficiently cover different cloud gaming service business models, including multi-game subscription services. It was not sufficiently open to providers who might wish to offer versions of games on PC operating systems other than Windows, and it would standardize the terms and conditions on which games are available, as opposed to them being determined by the dynamism and the creativity of competition in the market, as would be expected in the absence of the merger. Microsoft released a statement about today's announcement, citing that it is disappointed the decision seemingly reflects a flawed understanding of the video game and cloud gaming market. It will appeal the decision. Here is Microsoft's statement in full from Vice Chair and President Brad Smith. I'm not going to, it's another diatribe. I'm not going to go into that, all of that, because we get the gist of what is going, like why they did it. Do you think, now granted, again, like I said, this is not the final nail in the coffin. I don't want to speak for you, but I was in the same camp that, the CMA is going to turn this because it's like they have no reason not to, because a lot of what Sony is doing is just like pettiness and whatever findings they're trying to bring up. But this the reasoning came out of left field. Like, I didn't even know cloud gaming was a big factor for them. And what they list is like, yes, it is a lot of proprietary services to Microsoft, but again, in order to gain the goodwill and the trust to make this deal go through, what have we seen over the last couple months? Microsoft giving deals to Nintendo, to Steam, to like all these other services, like, hey, we're going to give you 10-year deals to our access of this library, to our services. So it's not like they wouldn't have worked something out. So it's way out of left field for them to use this as justification. Do you think I'm not saying it's a conspiracy that, Sony paid them under the table to pretty much put the vote in to block it. But do you think that this is a legitimate argument that the CMA has?
I can see where it could be a legitimate argument, because Microsoft is the only one that has really actually had cloud gaming that works. Stadia died. Luna is not taken off. PlayStation, their version, what was it, PlayStation Now? Yeah. PlayStation Now didn't take off and was choppy at best. So Xbox is the only one that has actually shown that this can work, this can be viable, and can work on not just Xbox, not just PCs, but it works on phones. It works on Samsung TVs. Like, we literally have we have 2 Samsung TVs at work, and I literally could log into my Xbox account and play right there off of the TV and everything. So yes, they do have a lot of proprietary stuff, but they have also put in the money and the time and dedication to make sure that it works. And that is something that others have, either they put in the money, but they didn't put in the time to make sure that it works, the long term and everything, looking at Stadia. Or they pulled out too early, like PlayStation Now and everything. So it is concerning in a way, but at the same time, it's like that would be punishing, let's say, whoever's going to make it to the NBA playoffs. Oh, because you practice more, we're going to give one game to the other
Yeah,
team
exactly.
because they didn't practice as much.
Right.
It's
It's
kind of
like,
foolish at that point in time. Um, yes, we could get kind of conspiratorial and all of that and be like,
yeah,
well, lobbyists are getting all of this. And it's weird that at this point, this is the reason. This is the holdup
exactly. Yeah.
and everything, and not necessarily, oh, well, you're buying Activision Blizzard. It's like, oh, well, you've
Yeah.
got cloud gaming. It's a weird caveat that doesn't seem to like fully like nail them
Yeah.
down.
Exactly. Like they could have used this argument when they bought Bethesda.
Yeah, they definitely could have, and it's like it feels, because they are the only one that is successfully doing it. Oh well, they've got that, and then they're gonna have
Yeah.
this, and they're like, it feels like somebody is whispering in their ears.
Yeah, I mean, and it's mainly again probably because of the money, because Activision. I mean, Bethesda, they only spent like 7 billion. Activision Blizzard, they're spending 10 times that much.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, and from me, okay,
mhm.
I feel like if PlayStation or whatever played ball, Xbox would give them access to like the cloud side of things.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they're in it to make money. They're in it to make
Right.
money, and it's like vanilla ice cream, Derek. It's the most popular ice cream.
Hmm.
It sells the most because
Yeah.
it's vanilla. There's not a lot to
Yeah.
it and everything, and that's what they're trying to be. They're trying to be the vanilla ice cream, where Sony is being like the Rocky Road or whatever. Like, it's not everybody's favorite or whatever, but the people that
Right.
love Rocky Road, they really love Rocky Road. So
Yeah.
I feel like we will see CMA turn on this, because Microsoft is not going to give up, and they're going to point out that, hey, we've put in the time and the effort on this. We shouldn't be punished just because other people don't invest in this kind of thing.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm not saying they can't. I don't know the ins and outs of the like rulings like this, but I don't. Is it one of those things they can overturn, or does it like will like a judicial system have to overturn this?
I think it's something that can be overturned, like the way it
Okay.
was like reading in the article, and it's not like
Yeah.
it's not done or whatever. It's just
Yeah.
it's being kind of held up and everything.
Now, if I forget, it's the CMA and there was someone else that was like a big like proponent of like whether to help would help determine if this deal would go through or not. Now, if they say no, then but
Wasn't it like
'cause
Brazil?
it's something. I thought it was here in the States too, but
Well, there's one in the
anyway,
States, there's one in Brazil, and then there's the like UK part.
CMA, yeah. So imagine, I don't know if it's like majority rules, but just imagine if all three of them, like how devastating it would be for Activision Blizzard. Like, I hate to get morbid here,
Yeah.
but it's like all these employees had hope that, oh, under the tyrannical rule of Bobby Kotick, they would finally be out from under him. And that Microsoft's already spent how much money in advertising and the Game Pass deals and all that, and it's like, how do you step away from that if it doesn't go through? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they are literally already putting out that they own Activision Blizzard. Like, that stuff's already like out and about and everything.
Right.
I think it would be a huge blow. I don't think that it will necessarily cripple, Microsoft.
Yeah.
Activision Blizzard, on the other hand, I think you will see a mass exodus of developers.
Oh, for sure.
Because they are not going to stay under Bobby Kotick, however you want to say it. They're going to be leaving in droves unless he gets, I know that the board vote him in and all of that, but it's like you either going to lose half or more of your workforce,
right,
to go to other places, and Sony is snatching up developers like crazy
for sure,
to build up their studios more and more. So I think it's like, the shareholders have to make the decision. It's like, would you rather have a leader that no one trusts and no one will work for, or would you rather have a workforce that you could bring up a leader out of that people trust and will literally wade through fire with gasoline all over themselves, and that's what we need here, So hopefully everything's going to work out. I think my prediction for this is that it will work out. I can't remember if that was my prediction.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was.
It probably was.
That it's going to work out and everything by the end of the year. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We're almost in May, Derek.
Yeah, we're a third of the way through the year.
We still got time. It's still time.
It's still early.
Yeah, we still got time on the clock, baby.
Yeah.
Still got time on the clock. You know what, Derek?
Mm-hmm.
You know what people can do?
They can go support us by using some creator code, right?
Yeah, the creator code NerdCave at checkout in the Epic Game Store. You can even try it out on free games. All that helps us out. You can get that Hogwarts Legacy that's been crushing it. You can get Jedi Survivor tomorrow. You can get them
tonight
V-Bucks.
at 11 o'clock.
That too. You can even get the 25 gig update to The Last of Us Remastered. And hope that it works. But you can check out all those awesome Sony games, all the games that are coming out. You can check it out. Support us by using our creator code NerdCave at checkout. All that helps us out, and it costs you nothing additional. It's just like you're like, hey, here's a tenner. I like them. Go give it to them. And then Epic's like, here you go. Here's a 10. A crisp. Nothing better than a crisp dollar, like a bill. Nothing, you know what I mean?
It's like doesn't matter what denomination. Crisp bills.
Crisp bills. You know what I mean? I'd take a crisp 100.
Yeah. Several of them actually.
Yeah.
Just give me whatever a strap is. Just give me several of those. We'll be good.
Give me a C note. You know what I mean? Just give me a nice little C note, and I'll take it. That's $100 bill.
Oh, I was like, okay, I don't know what he's getting at. I'm sure it's a lot of money, and then you say it's $100. I'm like, oh, that's disappointing. It's like I would.
Dude, $100 is a lot.
Okay, depending on where you go.
Hey man, how long does it take you to make $100? Couple hours, right? Yeah. It takes me a couple hours to make $100. My time's worth a lot. It's worth, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's worth a lot to me. It might not be worth a lot to anybody else. Eggs cost about $100.
I don't know where you shop. If you shop at Whole Foods, baby.
No, I wait for the chicken. I'm like, just grab it. I'm like,
that 5-figure discount.
Let's get into the PlayStation news. PlayStation acquires Firewalk Studios, team developing a AAA multiplayer game.
So speaking of buying studios, the company announced this on a new PlayStation blog, noting that it's been in a publishing partnership with Firewalk Studios and Probably Monsters since 2021, and that it's now happy to expand that relationship by bringing the studio under the PlayStation umbrella. The studio has been working on its, quote, first original AAA multiplayer game for PlayStation, and it sounds like development on that will continue. Since announcing our publishing partnership with Probably Monsters and Firewalk in 2021, we continue to be impressed by the team's ambitions to build a modern multiplayer game that connects players in new and innovative ways. Herman Holst writes in the blog, "The studio shares our passion for creating inspiring worlds grounded in exceptional gameplay, and we want to continue to invest in their mission. We're excited to bring their technical and creative expertise to PlayStation Studios to help grow our live service operations and deliver something truly special for gamers." The companies did not mention a price for the acquisition. Here's what Firewalk Studios head Tony Hsu and game director Ryan Ellis had to say about the acquisition. "Every once in a while, you get to have an adventure. Over 5 years ago, we jumped at the chance to set up a new studio and build a new IP from the ground up, recalling our own favorite games with times with games, we founded Firewalk Studios around the idea of delivering memorable moments. Those amazing had to be their times shared with other people. Our goal is to deliver those shared moments of joy to players around the world. Building a new studio at scale has been an incredibly exhilarating and relentlessly daunting task. Fortunately, we've been supported by great partners throughout. Probably Monsters helped turbocharge us in setting up the studio, and Sony has been supporting our project and our creative vision from the beginning. We've assembled some of the most inspired talent in the industry to deliver awe-inspiring new worlds and experiences filled with great core gameplay. The excitement of building something new for players has thoroughly energized the team and our partners, and we've been playtesting every day. Today we're taking the natural next step and joining PlayStation Studios. We've worked closely with Herman and the very talented team at PlayStation for years, helping to make our new game even better. To join PlayStation Studios is to formally become part of a family that has produced many of the most storied games in our age, and we are honored. We want to thank everyone who supported us along the way and those looking forward to our future. It's been an incredible journey so far, and we can't wait for the next chapter in this adventure. So, of course, no surprise, it's a multiplayer game.
Mm-hmm.
This goes with Sony's like new vision or new like jaunt into like their next chapter of their life or
Yep.
next or new focus that they've been wanting to do since I think last year what we talked
Mm-hmm.
about.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's probably be live service as well. Now was it Firewalk or was it Fire Sprite that helped with Call of the Mountain on VR?
Fire Sprite, I want to say.
Okay. Because about to say, I was trying to look up before the show like what Firewalk's done, and I can't find anything of note. So maybe they're just a new studio, or like I've tried to see what they've collabed on, and I couldn't find anything, at least right away. But I could, if anyone finds anything, let me know.
Yeah.
Because I'd like to know what they've worked on to see what their pedigree is to kind of get a gist of what to expect.
Yeah, Fire Sprite worked on Call of the Mountain.
Call of the Mountain. Got you.
I'm trying to see. Okay, yeah, it doesn't have anything on Firewalk. It looks like they're new.
Completely new.
Yeah.
Got you. Which is fine. Like, which, they don't list a price for the acquisition, but I can't see that they probably for a reason because it probably wasn't a lot because, again, you're a new studio. You've only done collab work. Like, what have you, like, you're not worth a lot of money,
Yeah. I'm looking and like they've raised money.
Huh.
I don't know. I'm looking at the website. I'm not really seeing any information, but like this goes in line. You were saying with PlayStation's trajectory, they're really wanting to push, not to get away from the single player story games, but they definitely see the money in the live service model.
Yep.
That's why they bought Bungie last 2 years ago, I want to say.
Yep.
And that Bungie is going to help them with that live service model. And they're wanting to build something that is not just when they put it out there, the first 2 months they make money. And then when they put it on PC, that's, really where they make their money. The rest of the time, it's like sales here and there. It's not a steady income where you look at something like GTA Online or Fortnite, where there's constant money, or Apex Legends. There's constantly people buying stuff in their marketplaces and everything. And that's what Sony wants, is something where they can perpetually make money off of. That's why we're also fixing to get that Last of Us multiplayer game, is where people are going to be playing that in that world and everything that's been built in the first 2 games. But it is something that, you want this cosmetic, go buy it, whatever. They've got their Bucks version. They've got their probably battle pass. However they're going to really set that up. PlayStation is really, really looking at this, and we've already seen attempts with like that roller derby game that they had.
Roller Champions.
That didn't really go anywhere or whatever, but like they are really wanting to do that. And also with Bungie, like they're using that as a way to pull in money right now. Like they just put out a new expansion and everything last like 3 months ago, and we're seeing, it's not necessarily what everybody wanted out of that expansion and everything, but we are going to get a Destiny 3 in the next 2 or 3 years. Like we're
they all but confirmed that they're like, hey, we're gonna add more life onto Destiny 2 while we make Destiny 3 better.
Yeah. So this is kind of par for the course. I think we're going to definitely see more live service games coming from Sony. I hope that they're not so blinded by the light, all that glitters is not gold kind of deal, and that they don't just flood the market. I think about the live service kind of thing right now. There's so many out there that not everything has room to breathe. It's like there's stuff being smothered.
Well, look how many are shutting down after being out for barely a year or less than that.
Yeah, and it's just like MMOs. There were so many after, WoW came out, like they were just trying to get that little niche market or whatever, and there's so many that have died off, and people aren't really making MMOs right now. Final Fantasy 14 is like really the biggest one that came out in the last 10 years, other than the expansions for WoW. And I love SWTOR, but SWTOR like never competed with the same kind of thing. With all that being said, PlayStation, they're trying new things. Hopefully they do not get too far away from what has made them successful. Hopefully they don't, go so far down the rabbit hole that they lose their way. And just like Alice,
with Jim Ryan at the helm, we'll see.
Yeah, we're not going to get on that tangent tonight.
No.
We're not going to get on that tangent tonight. Let's talk about some good stuff from Sony. Horizon 3 seemingly confirmed by Guerrilla Games as studio director departs.
So this was such a weird one. Like, this is so not Sony to just let this slip out. So Guerrilla Games has announced that Angie Smets, studio director and executive producer for the Sony-owned company that has departed, and casually confirmed that a third Horizon game is on the way as part of the announcement. As part of the shift in management, Joel Eschler, Hella Schmidt, and Jan Bart Van Beek will be heading up Guerrilla Games, and it's there that we seemingly have confirmation that Horizon will be getting a third game. Quote, "We have full confidence in our new leadership as they steer Guerrilla towards a bright future, expanding the world of Horizon with Aloy's next adventure in our exciting online project." So I assume this was like that she left on good terms, but if not, this was her like little jab at getting back at the studio. Like if they forced her to leave, she was like, "All right, I'm gonna ruin this for you. Horizon 3 is on the way, baby. Good luck with that." Now you're surprised that PlayStation Showcase in 5 years is ruined.
Well, it's like we kind of like thought, like I haven't played Burning Shores, and so I don't know if I doubt it wraps it up. Because like we have the whole like space thing that we got to deal with, the actual threat that's coming.
You can go check out a review on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, you can check that out. So we knew that we're getting a third. Unfortunately, we're not going to get Silence. Like I'm curious how they're going to deal with that.
Yeah,
story wise.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to deal with that. Nate even put, so I don't know how Horizon 2 went, but what are they going to do about Silence, or is he gone in the game? So he's still in the game at the very end, and they really set up a big story point with him. So I don't know how they're going to handle that. If they're going to do like a Chris Walker kind of thing where they keep him
Paul Walker?
on. Yeah, Paul Walker. Was it Chris that redid him? Like,
I think so.
Yeah, that's his brother. So Paul Walker, or do they, recast his voice, or do they kill the character off? I'm not 100% sure. I
don't know.
It's a weird position.
Now, granted, okay, would anyone be able to do him justice? Probably not. But I think the wrong thing would be just to kill him off, because he's been such an integral part of the story and Aloy's journey. He's the one that continues to drive her towards finding the truth, towards uncovering these truths and mysteries and of the old world. So I don't think it would do his character justice and do the actor justice just to have him killed off.
Yeah, I agree. I would love for them to figure out how to use it as a story point. It'd be nice to see, but I don't 100% understand or know what the best way to do. It's like you want to do it in a way that respects him, while also being able to tell the story that you need to tell, without compromising the quality and everything. So, but yeah, to Brandon's point, yeah, he literally was playing Destiny the night before he passed away.
Wow.
He loved Destiny. that's crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he would like jump on and everything. So, but back to this, I don't know. It's interesting that the head of the studio would leave, the director of the game would leave.
Yeah.
That always kind of like, that kind of always puts me in a like,
raise a red flag just a little bit.
yeah, it's like, okay, was there an issue? Are they just wanting to, because like, dude, I was taught for 7 years and it was like, all right, I'm done. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like sometimes you just want to go do something else or work on a different project. You don't want to get sucked into where you're just making the same game. Like I couldn't imagine working on a Call of Duty game. You know what I mean?
Granted, they rotate studios, but still, even those other studios still help out in other aspects of the game. So yeah, like literally, if you ever commit to Activision, like, or if you go to specifically to one of the Call of Duty studios, that's your life forever.
Yeah, it's like I could not do that. I could not do that at all. That would be so boring. So boring.
That's sort of like going to 343 and it's like, oh, Halo's your whole lifestyle. And it's like, especially with Halo, what it is now. And it's like, I don't know about this.
Yeah. I could have done it if it was Bungie back in the day. I would have loved that. That would have been a dream job. Let's talk about some dreams, Derek. Let's talk about some dreams. Let's get into the PlayStation quickies.
So starting off, Sony's Shuhei Yoshida says a future dominated by live service titles would be, quote, a bit boring. PS5 detachable disk drive rumors gather steam via new Sony patent. Final Fantasy 16 PS5 console bundle to launch on June 22nd when the game launches, and will include a download code for the game. Media Molecule's senior producer has joined Firesprite Studios, so he stays with the Sony family just at another studio. Destiny 3 has trended on Twitter as fans reveal that they are getting tired of Destiny 2. Mortal Kombat 12 reveal is being heavily rumored for Sony's next PlayStation showcase, which is, due any time now in the coming weeks. Guerrilla Games has, quote, ambitious future plans for the Decima engine. And lastly, Marvel Spider-Man developer swells to over 520 employees. Good Lord. Like, they gonna need it if they work it simultaneously on Spider-Man to finish Spider-Man 2 than to start on Wolverine.
Yeah, I think they're pushing to, like, finish this bad boy up and, like, have, like, the writers and like that small team, that does more of the first part to move over to Wolverine and everything. But yeah, to go back to the Destiny thing, we were talking a little bit about it just a minute ago. Destiny 2 came out in 2017.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that's a long time. That's six years on a live service game, of which, the promise is like, oh, it's a 10-year game and everything.
Yeah.
But if you are not, like, I know this last one was supposed to add some new combat, types and all this kind of, stuff. But it's like, if you are not continuing innovating and making it interesting, then, you might want to move on. And clearly the fan base, the ones that you want to stay, are like, let's get this Destiny 3 on the road, baby.
Right, exactly.
And then Shuhei.
I know. Full of grace.
Full of grace. You know what I mean? Like,
did you see my thing last week where he's now a collectible thing on the PlayStation Stars program?
I did see that. I need to get it. I need to get him.
I know. That's going to be the gem of your collection.
Exactly.
The blue eyes of your deck.
Yeah. Full of grace, though, like right on the money. You know what I mean? Like when a head of, Sony is saying this would be a bit boring, I'm like, I know. And I agree with you.
Yeah.
Hopefully everybody else is listening, Shu.
Yeah. Well, when you've already seen the graveyard steadily grow of the dead live service games, it's like you kind of see the writing on the wall to begin with.
Yeah. Now, Derek, I'm gonna have to correct something real quick.
Uh-oh.
There's one PlayStation quickie you didn't put in here.
Okay.
Today is Greg Miller's 40th birthday.
Oh, that's right. Happy birthday, Greggy.
Happy birthday, Greg.
Old Greg.
The old Sony pony himself.
I know. The founder, some might say, of the Sony Pony Nation.
You know, guys, the quick hits are brought to you by our wonderful patrons. You can become part of the ship, part of the exclusive crew by going over to patreon.com/nerdcave, and shout out to all the amazing people that support the show every month to keep the lights on, to keep Derek slaughtering them hogs, milking them hogs, slaughtering them horses. You know, he's going to run out if you don't go over to patreon.com/nerdcave. And you're saying to yourself, what in the world did I just hear? Well, I'll tell you, but you got to go over to patreon.com/nerdcave to find out. So, Derek, let's get into the Patreon quick hits.
So starting off, THQ Nordic digital event confirmed for August 11th and will feature Alone in the Dark, Trine 5, and more. Deathloop came about as Bethesda couldn't decide if it wanted Dishonored 3. Street Fighter 6 first DLC wave runs from summer of this year to winter 2024, and includes Akuma and Rashid. Following that, the Street Fighter 6 demo is out now. Some Diablo 4 news. Diablo 4 gets another open beta weekend from May 12th to the 14th. That's just 2 weeks from now. The dev also confirms that if hardcore players die in PvP, they're dead forever. And following that, Diablo 4 players will take on average about 150 plus hours to reach level 100. Tetris Effect dev's next game, Humanity, is out on May 16th. Xbox is working on a mystery franchise sequel that may take a decade to develop. Dead Island 2 character packs arriving in summer for Gold, Deluxe, and Hell A edition owners. Dead Island 2 sales have hit 1 million globally in just the first 3 days. Star Wars Jedi Survivor physical version reportedly includes a download to play. Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon reportedly due out in August, which I think that got confirmed today in a surprise trailer. Call of Duty is getting a board game adaptation next year. Tekken 8 reveals Lily as the next playable character. The Division 2 support was originally planned to end in 2020. Following that, the Division 2 on PS5 and Series X and S is unlikely, as dev won't leave last-gen players behind. The Witcher Season 3 will be split into 2 parts, with the first part releasing on June 29th and Part 2 on July 27th. Ballistic is the next playable character for Apex Legends. Respawn details accessibility features in Jedi Survivor, including a newly added slow mode. Alan Wake 2 is now in the final stages of full production. Former Halo and Control dev opens Anchor Point Studios for NetEase Games. Tears of the Kingdom will let you save build designs. Following that, Tears of the Kingdom is bringing back bombs, and you can throw almost any item and more. Following that, Tears of the Kingdom improves cooking with a new pot, recipe cards, and more. The ROG Ally Asus confirms Steam Deck competitor will release on May 11th and will be priced below $1,000. Remedy says Max Payne 1 and 2 remakes have moved to the, quote, proof of concept stage. Vince Zambella would love to see Titanfall 3 happen, so long as it's, quote, the right thing. And a surprise decision today, Gotham Knights to receive new DLC featuring Harley Quinn. Xbox hardware has gone down this month, but gaming revenue slightly up amid Game Pass growth. Nintendo confirms it will return to Gamescom this year. And lastly, new month, new PS Plus Essential games have been revealed. For both the PS5 and PS4, you get Grid Legends, Chivalry 2, and Descenders.
Now, one thing that I just saw, I was scrolling through the gram. Star Wars Jedi Survivor has an arachnophobia toggle that lets you remove spiders altogether.
Oh gosh, that means they're hot and heavy in this game too.
That, you know, one thing that I hate in video games, Derek.
Yeah.
Is spiders.
So you would hate Grounded.
Yeah, probably. Like, the way they do spiders in video games always gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Right.
And the flood is also in that. You know what I mean? The flood in Halo, like, always gave me the heebie-jeebies.
That's fair. They are really annoying, and plus, like, they do so, like, even though it's chip damage, if you could run into a squad of them, like 10, and they all jump at you at the same time, like that's at least a quarter of your health.
Yeah, and it's like you think about the first game, they really introduced the flood well and made you like feel like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, and I think that was something that was missing from Halo Infinite. There's no flood.
That's a good point.
No flood. You gotta have them. You gotta have the flood. So what's wrong with 343? No flood in their games. I don't think they've
Didn't they add it in I thought they added it in one of the games, like the either Guardians or Infinite.
I don't know. There's not an Infinite or the flood.
I could be wrong.
In Halo 5. Let's see. Because I don't remember them in the game mode. Okay. Nope. Are they in 5? I don't know.
I don't know. I thought they were, but I could be wrong. Zoe, that you are correct. In Grounded, I think you can go to settings and take them out. Like there's an arachnophobia setting. Yes, they do have an arachnophobia mode in Grounded where they will change them into like funny little things. They put more of a comedic spin on it. Like it'll be like a different thing, or they just won't have limbs, or they'll just look like a bunch of rocks. So yes, you are correct. So they at least have that, and hopefully more games follow suit on that for people like Zach who don't get the heebie-jeebies.
Like it's like I remember playing Skyrim.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, I know I'm about to fight some stupid spiders.
Right.
I get fire out and I'll be like, die, you devil, die. Die. And
be gone from me.
And the same thing, like when I'm playing Hogwarts, like those spiders, they be big. Big spiders. They ain't friendly. You know what I mean?
Just like in a Lord of the Rings, old Shelob.
Yeah, it just Okay, so the flood is not in Halo 5. I don't remember them being in Halo 4 because they were like the Prometheans and all that crap.
Right.
Maybe they were. Maybe. Okay, hold on. I'm looking it up.
Yeah, I swear we saw them. When I say recently, like in some game over the last couple of years. But again, I could probably maybe I'm just thinking of Master Chief Collection.
You might be thinking of Master Chief or Halo Wars because they are in Halo Wars.
Oh, okay. You're right. That's probably it.
Yeah, but Halo, the 343 games, they have not had the flood.
Yeah.
So 4, 5, and Infinite have not had the flood. So, just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Maybe that was the deciding factor. Maybe if they had those, maybe the games would be better. Never mind. Let me stop.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
what could have been?
Hire me, 343. I will fix your Halo problem. I'll sign the contract in the morning. Send them an email. It's in the info, the channel info. There you go. That's the show, guys. That's the show.
Yes, sir.
As I see Derek scroll to the top.
Yep.
Guys, we hope that you enjoyed it. Make sure, if you haven't already, smack that like button like you like something. And guys, we'll be back next week to talk more gaming news. So come and hang out with us then. This has been Zach.
And Combat Master Vexar Skirata.
Y'all have a blessed week. Bye.